What's up, lads and ladettes? How are we all doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastically well. And I just need to double check something. Just super duper quickly. Nah, it's all good. Anyway, welcome, ladies and gents. How are we all doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastically well. So, in today's little old video, we are going to be looking at a game called Lost Relics. Now, Lost Relics is a blockchain game. What that means is there are items in the game that are worth a type of cryptocurrency called Engine, which is off of the Ethereum blockchain. It's really interesting because you have virtual items which don't have any monetary value, and then you have super rare NFT items or blockchain items that are, are worth stuff because, they have their intrinsic values and all that sort of stuff for a multitude of different reasons. I'll go over that in just a second, but I just want, before we get into and play a dungeon, I just wanted to go over some of the basic stuff to do with Lost Relics, how it works, how you could get into playing it, and all that sort of stuff, and whether or not it's something that you could earn money with. Ah, cool, I have a daily thing. So this is a good spot to start off with. So when you come in, you're going to have like daily things, right? You'll have a daily reward system. So I've already done my pile of gold, bag of resources, and bounty bucks, which I'll go over bounty and stuff in a different video because they're a little bit more interesting. But today I'm going to get a bunch of potions. Cool. Potions are good. And then I'll have a gift box and then a mystery reward, on day 7, and earn some gold tomorrow. But anyway, let's talk about Lost Relics and why I think it is probably one of the more interesting games that I've played of recent years. Now, I will start off with a caveat. I've literally only been playing this game for maybe 10, 11 days. Like, legitimately, I've only been playing it for, not even a fortnight. But I've been thoroughly enjoying it. They recently had a Christmas event, and I managed to get myself an NFT item, which I was able to sell for something called Shadow Stones, and then I was able to get some blockchain weapons. But you're probably like, Scott, what the fuck is all this? What does all this mean, man? What's the difference between a blockchain weapon and a normal weapon? Because there are two types of weapons in this game. There are weapons that you can buy with gold, called virtual items. Well, there are items that you buy with gold called virtual items, and then you have blockchain items. So virtual items you buy gold. You buy with gold. So gold that you make from doing adventures and all that sort of stuff. You use that gold to buy stuff. Some stuff is needed for bounties. Other stuff like this Band of Brutality is a relic, so this increases your stats. One interesting thing is when you level up, your statistics don't increase. Your health doesn't increase, your energy doesn't increase, and your overall damage doesn't increase. The only way you can increase your damage and all that sort of stuff is with weapons and things like that, and items and shit like that. Actually, I do tell a lie. Leveling up does eventually get you to increase your max energy, but that's a long time away. But there's a few things interesting about the game, right? So you have you have two currencies, not three. I was looking at the 3 things up here, but no, you have 2 currencies. You have gold and you have shadow stones. Both of these things you find in your adventures, like when you're going into a dungeon. Gold you use to purchase standard stuff from the Emporium, like virtual items like this bow, or this sword, or this pretty shell. You use gold. Shadow stones are what you use to buy blockchain stuff. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, what's the difference between a blockchain item, like a blockchain weapon, and a virtual weapon? One very, very key thing, and that is breakable stuff. So, when you're in a dungeon, if you die when you're in a dungeon doing an adventure, all of your virtual items are lost. You don't get them back. So if you spent like let's say you spent let's say you're in a legendary dungeon and you're using this legendary two-handed sword worth 3,000 gold. If you were to die in the dungeon, you lose that weapon. But you notice how it says destructible and breakable? So destructible is when you die in a dungeon, your stuff is destroyed. You lose everything that says destructible, you will lose. Breakable means that this weapon, after leaving an adventure, after completing an adventure, you'll randomly have this weapon break. Now, with common stuff, like this one, or this pinewood bow, it breaks after every 3 to 4 adventures that I've noticed. I haven't used a legendary one because, as I said, I'm very new still, so bear with me. But these things break. You know, they get destroyed in a dungeon and they break upon exiting a dungeon after a while. Blockchains, though, are 100% indestructible. And I think that's their intrinsic value. Some of them also have like extra bonus stuff, like this one does 10% increase hit chance. Critical hit chance, not standard hit chance, but critical. Where's this mythical blockchain? 10% chance to catch enemy on fire. This has plus 10% damage to flying monsters. There's a lot of really cool stuff. So when you have the Shadow Stones, I highly recommend getting a blockchain item. Now, I've got 2 blockchain weapons at the moment, which I use in my dungeons. My uncommon dungeons, not my common dungeons, because there are there's like item rarity caps to your dungeons, which I find really interesting. It keeps things hard, like it keeps things at a consistent difficulty, but then that can also mean that like you don't really feel like you've progressed at all. That's one thing that I find a little bit disappointing. It would be nice if you can I don't know, like even if there's like some stat increase thing at any point in time, like every time you level up you can like increase 1 stat. That would be interesting. But the NFTs that I have, or the blockchain weapons, I have a longbow, which I can only use in uncommon dungeons or green dungeons and above, and a Wilden axe. Right, now these ones are quite cheap, so I was able to get it. The reason why I was actually able to get them, now you do find shadow stones in dungeons and things like that, and I'm just gonna go and get my common stuff, because I'll show you guys a common dungeon instead of a uncommon dungeon, and I might as well take a couple of foods with me. So one of the big things to do this game is adventure prep. Because you can lose everything if you die in a dungeon, one of the key things is prepping before you go on an adventure or go into a dungeon. And I highly recommend bringing some food with you, or if you've got some relics. Now, relics are they could be various items. I think they've got rings. There's potion relics as well. There's a few different relics that are out there. Now, what am I missing? I'm missing these gloves. There we go. So the relics that I have on me are plus 2 health every second up to 350 health, and this one is energy. Now, before I go into the dungeon, I should point out there's a very interesting thing when it comes to playing this game, and that is not only can you lose all of your items if you die, like all of your virtual items if you die in a dungeon, but your health doesn't regen. Your energy regens, but only up to 250 points of energy. but your health doesn't regen, so you got to be super fucking careful. Super duper careful. Otherwise, you're just screwed. You're just bollocksed. If you're, if you're not careful, then you're screwed. And you do need to be careful because there are, like, you can't. Okay, so you can't zoom out a lot. This is the max that you can zoom out with. Okay, but there are going to be ranged enemies that can shoot you from off the screen. Right, they'll be off the screen. You can see them in the little mini map here. Sometimes you don't. That's always fun. But they'll just shoot you. And yeah, unless you've got some healing items like potions or food, or a relic, your chances of survival went down just a little bit more, which sucks. Now, if you want to play this game, I highly recommend getting a power pendant before you start going through and leveling up. Because these champion rewards, like power pendant makes you a member, and there are certain things in this, right? Certain things that are very, very important. So, access to stash deposit at Adventure Pass. That's this chick. It still costs you gold, but you can stash items that you found in the dungeon. You can, and they'll send it back to your stash. So you give her all your stuff, she'll send it back to your stash, so you don't need to keep running back to the inn. You just give it to her and then go back in. Give it to her and then go back in. That's bad. Now this video isn't like an in-depth look, but it is just a show and tell of what the game looks like. Now, like I said, in order to get the like membership stuff, which allows you to not only get some of those specific daily, those specific champion rewards that I highly recommend, but they'll also give you engineering and forging. These things will be useful for bounties, but I'll go over that in the future video. I'll go over bounties and stuff if you guys want me to. You might not want me to, but anyway, I think I've gone over a lot of stuff. So yeah, shadow stones and gold, you find those in the dungeons. You can also find blockchain items that you could sell for shadow stones. Oh yeah, here's another important one. Shadow stones, because they are connected to engine, which is part of the Ethereum blockchain and all that sort of stuff. You can withdraw the shadow stones from the game, but shadow stones that you find in a dungeon, you aren't able to withdraw. But what you can do with those shadow stones is you can buy an NFT item. You can buy a blockchain item, like a blockchain weapon, then resell that blockchain weapon to someone else, either for a loss or for a profit, whatever you want to try to do, and then you can withdraw those stones, right? So yeah, so you can use it to buy. Here it is. Yeah, shadow stones you find on adventures cannot be withdrawn, but can be used to buy blockchain items. Shadow stones you get from selling blockchain items, though, those are withdrawable. So just a little thing to keep in mind. Anyway, so I want to increase my... I think a lot of you guys are going to be, like, you'll start off with Lost Catacombs, but a lot of you guys will probably go into the Forgotten Chambers first. Now, one interesting thing for you guys to know is that you're going to have missions, like bounty missions, that ask you for specific items. Like it might ask for a Skeletor bone. You get it from this guy, Skeletors. They might ask for grunt gizzards. You get them from a grunt. They might ask you for raw rune leather hide, like raw rune leather. You get it from these guys. They'll ask for a whole bunch of different things, or they'll ask you to kill specific monsters. So you can look at the monsters and be like, yeah, I gotta kill this, and I also need to get a lot of this. Okay, cool, then I'll do this one. So yeah, I'll go over like bounties in a later video, because that'll be a little bit more interesting to do on its own. But anyway, let's look at one of these chambers. Let's look at Forgotten Chambers, and we'll go through we'll have a grand old time. We'll get some gold. You might see what I say, like what I say about weapons breaking, maybe. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I've used this one in. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've used this bow at all yet. Now, when you're going through, you're going to find keys. These keys will open the chests that are in a dungeon. This dungeon has 2 chests, and that chest will have a chance for, or will give out gold, but will also have a chance to give shadow stones and, you know, possibly NFT items or any other items, really. This dungeon has a chance for common, uncommon, and rare items, so always a good thing. Always nice and fun, especially when you get shadow stones. Shadow stones are like globaling in Entropy Universe. It's great. Because you find them and you're like, yeah, except it doesn't really cost you anything to get them. Apart from getting the pendant. Now, I forgot to mention the pendant. You need to purchase the pendant via the website with Ethereum or Engine. But if you do use Engine tokens, you need to have some Ethereum to pay for the gas fees and all that sort of stuff. Any of you guys that are like know what I'm talking about will understand what I'm saying. Those of you that don't know, it explains it all on the Lost Relics website, so you know, it's not bad. Got some Bucksite, cool. This guy's coming after us. Take him down. Now, there are 2 forms of attack. You got left click attack, which does like 1 and doesn't use up energy, and then you have a right click that, you know, is a power attack. So with the short bow, my standard attack does 39 damage and my power attack does 144. So if I was to go after this guy, now be careful of these things, these are traps and they suck. So if I was to use like a standard attack, it does like a quarter. But as you saw before, if I do like a full-on power attack, it does all of the health. So I highly recommend, like, if you run out of energy, wait until your energy is back up to 250, and then go into the next room. Basically, you want to try to clear rooms out by using your power shots, because otherwise you'll take too much damage and you'll lose all of your stuff in game. It's really this game has a bit of a learning curve, but it's quite fun once you get the hang of it. Once you get the hang of it, it is fun, especially if you like grindy ARPGs and things like that, which I very much do. I love it, and I like the idea of adventure prepping. Adventure prepping, kiting enemies. See, I just got a Skeletor bone off of this guy, so yeah, like quite a lot I see, like in like the message, like in the chat, it says, oh, how do I get Skeletor bones? And you kill Skeletors. But I see it so much, so I'm hoping me telling you guys now that if something says get Skeletor bone or grunt gizzards or like this, like if you like, if it has an item like hide or whatever, before you ask, like you can ask, but do yourself a favor, and this is a good habit to get into playing any game. Look at various mobs and look at where your what various dungeons and things have, because it could answer itself. And you'll feel a lot more rewarded for figuring it out yourself rather than asking a question which, although you can ask the question, it's a lot more fulfilling, you know, looking at, oh, Skeletor bones, well, obviously I need to get it from something called a Skeletor because it's Skeletor bones or grunt gizzards, you know. I mean, you don't have to, but it's a good practice just to get into. Because, like, luckily you'll have players that tell you how to do stuff in this, right? You'll have players that tell you what to do. But if you're able to do it yourself, then, you know, it's all the more power to you, and it makes you feel better. You know, it feels empowering to be like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. Of course, you won't know exactly what you're doing, because there's always going to be some kind of a learning thing, but if you're able to figure it out by yourself, then, you know, it's always good. Like, there are certain things that you need to ask, like, when I was getting relics, I had to do, like, I was thinking, oh, well, if I get 2 of these weak ring rejuvenation, instead of having 350 health regen in a dungeon, like passive health regen, I'll have 700. Oop. But I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know if, like, it doesn't say that only 1 can be equipped. So I'm like, so that, in those situations, it's best to ask before you waste your gold and things like that. Oop. Seismic dust. Now, I recommend trying to keep everything, and if your weapon breaks in this dungeon, do the first dungeon with your bare fists. Because even with without any weapons, as long as you're right-clicking, doing a power shot, you should be able to finish the dungeon with more than enough health to spare. So you shouldn't need a healing item. Like, if you have a regen ring, they're only, yeah, 3k gold, that's not too much. So if you have a regen ring, then like 10 out of 10 pop that on and go through. There's not as many traps in the first dungeon. I don't think there's any fire traps. I think there's spike traps in like specific spots, but that's neither here nor there. Oop, need to run back. Now remember, like, if you're not confident, just run away. Nothing wrong with running away. Now I'm just looking at the map here. Usually when there's an offshoot, so you'll have branching paths, and if there's an offshoot, one of those directions will more than likely have one of the chests in it. And if you've gone one way and you've seen like 6 or 7 rooms, chances are that's the direction towards the exit. Oh, shit. Sometimes the branching paths are huge, so they're not always as clear-cut. But for this one, I tend to have a little bit of a system. Like, if I go one direction and I've gone like 7 or 8 rooms and I haven't, you know, and it looks like there's going to be even more rooms ahead, then I tend to... Yeah, see? This is the chest. I tend to go back and do the other way, because chances are it'll only be a few in. Oop. Damn it. I was hoping I'd have enough time. Now, if you're doing some kind of resource collection, mobs hitting you will break you out of that. There's some gold. How much was in there? Like 70 something? Not bad. Not bad. I'll take it. I found some shadow stones this morning, which is really cool. Whenever you, like I said, whenever you find shadow stones or some kind of NFT, it's like finding, it's like getting a global and Entropia universe. I'm guessing most of you guys that are watching this watch me for Entropia universe as well. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting game once you get the hang of it. Once you get the hang of adventure prepping, know what you should take into any given adventure, and what sort of things you can expect, like traps or no traps but more severe enemies. Like, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty free-flowing, but it can feel rather grindy at times, so it's just another thing to keep in mind. You know, if you're doing it to level up, like skilling up, then sure, you've got a goal. Or if you're doing a bounty sort of mission, you got a goal and all that sort of stuff. But if you don't have one of those, oh shit! if you don't have, like, if you don't focus on a specific goal, then it can feel rather grindy. Kind of like how EU can be pretty damn grindy at times. I know I really shouldn't compare a ARPG to Entropia Universe, like an NFT ARPG blockchain game to Entropia Universe, but they do have similarities, which you know, I'm not gonna. They do have similarities, especially when it comes to the weapons. Like, think about it this way, right? So, in this game, you have blockchain items and you have virtual items. Virtual items will break after a while, where blockchain items you get to keep. Entropia Universe has, you know, they have limited and unlimited items. Limited items, you're going to always be paying for that markup. Where unlimited items, you just need to pay for the markup once. And then you just need to repair it through, you know, whatever means you're utilizing it for. But it's... there's a lot of similarities that you can pull from the two. But, yeah. So, yeah, I highly recommend getting a pendant for this. The pendant gives you a lot of extra stuff. And it will allow you to do a lot more in the game as well. Good thing is you can buy pendants with gold, because people sell pendants for gold. So if you have the gold, like after you've bought one pendant, you can then, if you have the gold, you can then buy a pendant off of the Emporium, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing, because the price of Ethereum and all that sort of stuff fluctuates. That's why I got it the once. I got one pendant from buying Ethereum, and then I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to use gold to buy my memberships. Given I need to do a little bit of grinding at the moment to increase my my gold so I can get a pendant. But yeah. The reason why I say get a pendant is because if you don't get a pendant, you get put on an account activation waiting list. And I was on that waiting list since August. I was waiting for months. And I still had to get a pendant because I couldn't be fucked waiting any longer. Because there were people on here, like, waiting since June. Like, still waiting. They've been waiting since June to get in on it. So, for free, like without needing to buy a pendant, it can be rather frustrating. But I mean, it's fine. I'm pretty certain once it's no longer in, because I think this is in beta. Once it's no longer in like beta and all that sort of stuff, it might be easier for someone to jump in and start playing for free. And they might even add in some kind of what's the word? Monetized thing. Oh wow, I got like, I maxed out everything. Okay, cool. Now, I just need to see. Yeah, I've gone quite a ways, and I missed a room, so I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit. Don't step on these things, these are traps. That will flame you and it will hurt. So you don't want to. Trust me on that, you don't want to. It'll waste a lot of health, and it's just be careful. Now, we're gonna go backtracking, because I missed a room. And like I said, knowing my luck, that's probably a room with... That's probably the room with the chest. And I went all that way, and I'll have to go back. But imagine if it didn't have the chest in it, I've gone back just to... Now these dungeons can take a while. The first dungeon, you can get it done in like 10 minutes without any weapons. And I don't think you need any armor either. So you can get it done without anything. So if you needed to grind up gold for whatever reason, that's a good way to do it. That way you don't have to spend anything. And the amount of gold that you get is... Look, see, only a couple of rooms in. I was too busy talking, you see. I was too busy talking. And I didn't pay attention to whatever the fuck I was doing. Didn't pay attention. I am a silly sausage. A silly sausage. But we should actually be relatively close to the end of the dungeon. No shadow stones. I got some this morning. I got like 9 shadow stones this morning, which was nice. It's a good little thing to wake up to. Good little thing to wake up to, but it's all good. It's all good. I mean, those 9 shadow stones would have been enough to buy a Wilburn axe or whatever. So it would have been enough to get that. So you never know. You never know with this game. You might not have, like, for me, I got an NFT item during the Christmas event, and I was able to sell it and then get my blockchain weapons. So now I can do the uncommon... Yeah, I can do the uncommon dungeons without needing to worry about my weapons breaking upon exiting. Or if I die during, I don't have to worry about... Oh! I don't have to worry about, you know, them being destroyed. Which is always a nice thing. There we go. And yeah, this is the exit. Oh man. But that's... Come on, exit. That's pretty much the game in a nutshell, guys. And it gives you a nice little end screen showing you what you got. So I got some good experience. I got I only took 638 damage in that run, which was really good. I got 179 gold, and I got a bunch of items, which I'll be able to just keep aside or sell. If we have a look at like this, right, the raw bronze trout, 1, 2, 3, so just under 300 gold worth, and I got 5 of these raw Harvanas, which are similar, so 5, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is nearly 500 gold. So even if I was to lose my weapon, I'll be able to buy it back with whatever I got. So it's not all too bad. There are certain things that I think they should do. Hey, I got my daily reward. First, I'm going to turn in my stuff. And this is why you should get a membership, just so you can do this. Really, it's worth it. Claim your daily reward before it expires. Let's see what I got. Alright, so I got a health potion, I got an anti-poison potion, and fireproof potion. These are obviously one use, so I can only use it once, which does kind of suck, but it's okay. You can just kind of collect this stuff up, which is really nice. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be leaving it there for today. If there's anything you want me to clarify in the comments section, I can. But really, just go to the if you're interested in playing the game, go to the website and it will give you a full rundown of what you got to do. There's a Discord, and I can even I'm even going to link a couple of streamers, xDazmanianDevilx, KingSlayer, and DonBeJ. So if you wanted to watch them or ask them about it, you know, they've been playing it for a much longer. Like I said, I haven't even been playing for 2 weeks. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys because I've really gotten into it and I really like it. They are doing a few things. I want them to have co-op. Co-op would be really cool because it will make adventuring just a little bit more fun. I would like them to have at least some form of passive health regen. But, you know, that could make the game, quote-unquote, too easy. I don't know. But, anyway, I'm leaving it there. You all take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.